What is the real value of the globalized consumption? Is a podcast series to trace back to the stages of production of consumer products to discuss the factors involved in the economic globalization and try to raise up issues that you had seldom thought of before purchase. I am Angus, the host of this episode. In this episode, we are going to focus on food safety and the environment. After watching the documentary film The World According to Monsanto, I think we can think a little deeper on genetically modified food. To begin with, let me give you a brief idea of who is Monsanto. Monsanto is an agricultural biotechnology corporation. The product Roundup herbicide has the highest market share in the world. Monsanto also has a leading position in the genetically engineered seed market. When we talk about genetically modified food or GM food, the general impression may be, oh, this is an advanced technology, or GM food is a solution for food scarcity because GM food has resistance to pests, so it increases the food production. I believe many of us would be supportive to biotechnology. However, you may change your mind after watching this documentary film. This film shows us another dimension of Monsanto. This corporation cares about commercial interest more than food and environmental safety. And many of their products have patents, and by selling the products to other countries, they can receive royalties from the global market. And with a high market share, Monsanto can control the food production in the world by selling their GE seed. Besides, Monsanto has the power to give pressure on the government's policy. Some government officers even worked for Monsanto before. The government adopts a neoliberal approach to GM food policy. Under globalization, governments tend to less intervene or deregulate because it can boost the economic growth. Deregulation on GM food policy allows Monsanto to release the products to the market quickly without credible scientific research. Here we can see that transfer of benefit happens between the government and Monsanto. It is clear that Monsanto would protect their commercial interests at all costs. And here comes to the first question. What are the environmental impacts brought by the GM food? In the documentary film, Mexico has over 150 types of corn for thousands of years, and the government banned GM food, a GM crop, to preserve the corn diversity. However, due to the free trade agreement between Mexico and the United States, Mexico cannot stop the importation of GM corn from the US. GM corn enters the local market at a cheaper price than local corn, and it is completing the market share. And then, when there are GM seeds released in the natural environment, advantageous presence may lead to transgenic contamination. What is transgenic contamination? Actually, it is like the GM seed inserts the gene into the local seed. It takes place by either pollination or mixes with the non-GM seeds. Eventually, the local corn seeds are replaced by the GM seed, and the corn diversity decreases, and farmers are forced to buy more GM seeds from Monsanto. Moreover, Monsanto take over many seeds companies and develop new GM seeds. It seems that Monsanto is trying to dominate the market and wipe out the non-transgenic seeds. To this corporation, the decrease of food diversity does not matter. Making money from farmers' land is the only thing that matters. Also, the Roundup herbicide is needed when the farmer is growing the GM seeds. It is like a formula that you have to follow, or otherwise the GM crop cannot grow in a healthy condition. It forces farmers to buy more products from Monsanto. The GM seed has resistance to the herbicide, so it is fine. But the herbicide kills other plants and destroy other farmland. In the documentary film, a farmer in Paraguay who lives near the GM soybean field was affected. Herbicides were widely used in the soybean field, and on rainy days, the toxic water washed into the river, causing the death of ducks. And the herbicide also destroyed the farmer's farmland. And his son got an unknown disease that he did not want to eat anything. When a large amount of herbicide exposed to animals, it may cause death. It destroys biodiversity and natural resources directly. However, Monsanto TV advertisement claims that the herbicide is totally harmless to animals, which is definitely not true. After talking about the environmental impact, next, uh, the next question, are there any food safety problems? Monsanto had experiments on animals to see the effect of GM food, but the researchers did not look at how GM food affects the function of organs. They skipped that part and tried to claim that GM food and traditional food are substantial equivalents by saying they have some reassurance that there is no obvious change on the testing animals. Monsanto was strongly criticized by the scientists from the UK. The scientists said we cannot simply consider GM food and traditional food are the same. They are different. Actually, Monsanto falsifies the scientific research and hide the data from the public. When the scientists ask for more data, Monsanto ignores them, and Monsanto can destroy the scientists' reputation to stop their investigation or study. There is no evidence showing GM food can affect food safety or quality, but at the same time, there is no evidence showing GM food is 100% safe and it does not have potential risk. So we need to put a question mark on the safety of GM food. Also, there's an information asymmetry problem. In the US, One scary thing is that Food and Drug Administration does not require labeling of GM food products, so the consumer cannot identify the food is GM food or not. So they won't concern about the safety of the GM food. There's no way to know the difference. The choice of choosing traditional food is taken away. To sum up, we as a consumer in the market should know more about who produced the GM food and the issues that generated through the production process. Although we seldom buy or eat GM food, it can be more common in the future. Biotechnology can be used in good or bad ways. It is sad to see that Monsanto did not have the intention to reduce the environmental impact. In the future, when we see GM food that is made from the US, we need to know that the brand name or production place does not guarantee food safety or quality. And I believe all of us want to make sure GM food is 100% safe before we try it. This is the end of this episode. Thank you for listening.